she had abandoned the ministry, her accent all of a sudden changed from the local Ghanaian woman that we knew to a wannabe American deportee. My brother, my sister, she spoke in an accent that Trump himself would shiver at. My brother, my sister, Ajua Safo is a chameleon, a she chameleon.
The Lord is I shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh I like down in the green pastures. Him leadeth I beside still water them. Him restoreth I soul. Him leadeth I into the path of righteousness for him name's sake. Yea! Though I RASTA, I go walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I can't fear no evil. For thy rod and thy staff them comforted I and I. Who prepare a table before I, in the presence of our enemy them, who anointed I head with no oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy, I go follow I all the days of I life, me I go dwell in the house of the Lord God, Jah, get them away. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, where we speak truth to power. Now here we don't criticize, but if we must, it would only be on one condition, to build and not to destroy. That is why we keep saying we are in the service of God and country. Again, here we are not neutral, we have taken sides. Yes, the side of the truth. That is why we keep telling you that, oh yes, we are the headquarters of the truth. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, and here we speak truth to power. And my name, Black Rasta. Now, in every traditional African home, there is a black pot. And each time this black pot sits on the fire, there is something super sumptuous cooking. Ingredients of so many different types, shapes and sizes, aromas and even flavors. Put aside all their differences and relocate into the black pot where they are subjected to some good amount of heating. At the end of the day, they produce sumptuous food in all its palatability for the nourishment of the whole family. That is what we do here. We pick up all these wonderful ideas, gather everything together, sieve out the best, the creme de la creme, and use that for the development of our people, our continent, our land. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushodemo, and here we speak truth to power. Come here. Today we have three very important issues to look at. I must first apologize for the late start of the show. We faced some really serious technical difficulties. My brother, my sister, we have been in the studio here battling this out for the past 2.5 hours, trying to sort out these issues. I want to believe that we are live on Facebook right now and also live on YouTube. My brother, my sister, you can also find us on TikTok. We are also on X, formerly called Twitter. You can also find us on Instagram. My brother, my sister. But for now, we are live on Facebook, also live on YouTube. And I want to say welcome to the show. And I apologize one more time for the late start of the show. It was due to technical difficulties. My brother, my sister, interesting things are happening. Our numbers are rolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and do business with us. Today, we have gone beyond 3 stories. We are doing 4 stories. And we start right now. Story number 1. Watch this story. And it's breaking. What does it say? Blast. Ghana Armed Forces Z9 helicopter did not crash. Wow. Have they already seen the black box? Have they analyzed the contents? But who is saying that it wasn't a crash, that it was a blast in mid-air? Do you know this person? It's the Deputy Majority Chief Whip. There she is. Her face is familiar. Is she speaking on behalf of the government? Or on behalf of a political party, the NDC? Or is it on her own behalf? My brother, my sister, on the 6th of August, Ghanaians heard some really bad news. A Z9 helicopter, military styled, owned by the Ghana Armed Forces, took off from Accra en route to Obuasi. It crashed, my brother, my sister, and 8 people lost their lives. 2 of them sitting ministers of state. 1 of them a sitting MP of Tamale Central. It brought tears into the eyes of everybody. In fact, this united the whole nation in grief. The president has been weeping so badly. In fact, one of the deceased, Alhaji Limuna, the president referred to as a personal loss, aside being a national loss. Because we were told that he was the one taking care of several personal properties of the sitting president of the republic. A Nigerian preacher by name Suleiman, Apostle Suleiman, has come out to feed into the conspiracy theories that the plane was actually hacked into with probably something to cause the crash. The president has warned all of us to stay away from all the conspiracy theories, but there are some of them we simply cannot bat an eyelid on. My brother, my sister, what is Apostle Suleiman saying? Did somebody intentionally want to take the life of our president? Ghanaians do not believe in that, because this is a very democratic nation and we won't go that far to see a president die, to murder, assassinate, any kind of terms you want to use. Ghanaians are a people who believe in the ballot box. Could ties be changing? What truly is the issue? Did somebody want to hurt the president by doing something that will cause a crash and bring down the president? But it looks like this woman has more information. First and foremost, the president escaped this because his church had a very important gathering and invited him over. So he had to postpone going to Obuasi and go to the church. When he went to the church, in fact, he was later told that there was a crash. And he saw how close, maybe the closest all his life, he had been to death. The conspiracy theories are flying all over. But for a member of the NDC, in fact, a deputy chief whip of the political party, to say things we are tempted to say, well, if fish comes out of water and tells you that the crocodile is dead, you have no business doubting this fish. They live together. They know everything. Politicians know everything. My brother, my sister, watch this story. From Ghana Web, it has hit us like a big blow. And she is talking about this thing being a blast. Watch this. Ghana Armed Forces Z9 helicopter blasted mid-air. It did not crash. And this is the Deputy Majority Chief Whip. Flip the page and watch this. Now the Deputy Majority Chief Whip, Comfort Doyo Kujo Gansa, has stated that all available evidence suggests the Ghana Air Force helicopter accident that claimed 8 lives was the result of a blast. According to the Deputy Majority Chief Whip, the helicopter did not crash as initially speculated. Now, the aircraft blasted. It did not crash. Let me tell you something. With all the crashes that have happened in the past, we see that the aircraft lands at a specific location. You would usually find it at a given location where the victims can all be found. But in this instance, the parts of the helicopter were scattered and the victims were found at separate locations. In an aircraft where one is in a seat belt, how did victims end up scattered? We are told some of them were found in a deep valley. So the aircraft blasted before reaching the ground. She stated on AOK FM. Wow. She, however, expressed hope that the details of the black box, which has since been located, will bring clarity to the events leading up to the accident. My brother, my sister, dash it away. This woman seems to know a lot that we don't. And she's telling you that all evidence that is available will point to only one direction, that it was a blast in mid-air. There was no crash. My brother, my sister, she is talking about something crucial. That the bodies were scattered in so many different directions, some even found in deep valleys, far away from where the helicopter finally landed. My brother, my sister, debris collected from the shattered aircraft also point to one direction, that there was truly a blast. Who blasted the plane? Did the plane contain explosives? My brother, my sister, I am very interested in this. Are we coming to an era where our people are almost becoming terrorists? Could this be domestic terrorism? Or could it be something that has been planted on us by the West? Because the West is so good at this. Remember on this show, we told you that the second coming of President Muhammad is a threat to the West. Now the dollar is dwindling. At the same time, my brother, my sister, Pan-Africanism is beginning to take center stage in our body politics with the coming of President John Dramani Mahama. This nation has always been seen as the beacon of Pan-Africanism. But in these times, it looks like more is being done to uplift the image of Kwame Nkrumah, the father of Pan-Africanism. Could this be a threat to the West? Or could it be a threat to somebody domestic? My brother, my sister, let's take this very seriously. Look into this and find out exactly what happened. Now, people on the ground would spread all kinds of rumors, but the most important thing is that the Black Port will be here to bring you nothing but authentic information. I'm glad that they have found the black box. And in the Black Port, we will bring you all the information that you deserve to hear. In the interim, we still share our empathies with all the 8 lives that went down, their families, and everyone close-knitted, died in the wool. My brother, my sister, kind of relationship. They are those who suffer it most, even though all of us have gone through a lot. Bring back the photograph of Madame Doyo. Now, Madame Doyo, I am glad you seem to know so much. I will be so happy that she's invited by the investigative bodies that we have to help with the knowledge that she has, so that we can unravel the mystery behind a crash that wasn't a crash, but mid-air blasting. Questions to answer. Did the aircraft carry explosives? Did somebody from the ground fire at the aircraft? Who could it be? Do we have any evidence pointing to that direction? My brother, my sister, this is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. And I want to say thank you so much for coming along. We have more today, and I don't want to keep us waiting. We'll go straight to the next point. Story number 2. Now the next story is equally interesting. And it says, why Dr. Murtala turned down Muammar Gaddafi's bribe offer. How many of us remember Muammar al-Gaddafi? The powerful leader of the Libyan People's Jamahiriya. He was a powerful man. Muammar al-Gaddafi of Libya. In fact, there was a time he broke away from his Arab lineage and joined hands with the rest of Africa, uplifting the might of Pan-Africanism. He came to Ghana here, where he was installed. In fact, we saw him in a beautiful kente over whatever he was wearing. And he was one of those fighting for the total independence of Africa. Muammar al-Gaddafi, my brother, my sister, was a man who spent a lot of money, yes, investing in the internet that we use today. Today, if you have internet that is not as expensive as it used to be, you must give thanks to Muammar al-Gaddafi. He was a man who also invested, in fact, in communication. In those days, we used to call our brothers and sisters in America and England, quickly send them a missed call or quickly say, please call me back, because we couldn't afford. Today, it is the other way around. They tell us to call them and we call them before WhatsApp and some other forms of cheap communication came. Muammar al-Gaddafi was a man who was also interested in the total liberation of Africa from economic bondage and suppression. In fact, he was interested in a certain bank that would be called the African Bank. He was also interested in an agric bank for the whole of Africa that will invest only in agriculture. He was a visionary and he had the oil money. The West was able to manipulate the people of Libya against him to make it look like he was stealing the money of the people of Libya and giving it to the whole of Africa. My brother, my sister, long story cut short, Muammar al-Gaddafi, please put up his photograph there. I would like everybody to see this great man. That's him, a younger Muammar Gaddafi here. At the end of the day, they murdered him in cold blood. Our own brother Barack Obama had a hand in it, even though right after that, he apologized to the whole world and said that one of the biggest things in his presidency was the fact that Muammar al-Gaddafi had to go down, and he aided that. And you can find that on the internet, apologizing for the death of Muammar al-Gaddafi. When Muammar al-Gaddafi died, Libya became a war zone. Up till now, they have never known peace. My brother, my sister, he was one of the best leaders they had in that country. I remember the Lockerbie bombing over Scotland, where he had to negotiate and have one of their own brought back out of jail. He died later. In the interim, my brother, my sister, this is Muammar al-Gaddafi, powerful and strong. According to Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, my brother, my sister, when they were young journalists, he and Alhaji Murtala Ibrahim Muhammad, doctor, they were going all the way to Libya on the invitation of this great man called Muammar al-Gaddafi. And they were hoping, beyond all hopes, that something beautiful would come out of the meeting. And when they arrived, there was a huge contract lying in front of them. So much to gain. In fact, in his own words, life-changing contract. But when Murtala went in there, he was excited that there was something that would change his life. But Murtala looked into the contract and realized that they were going to sell out in order to make the contract happen. In other words, in order to deliver on the contract, they would have to make a lot of national compromises. Murtala walked out of the contract, walked up to Okujeto Ablakwa and told him straight in his face that this is not a contract we should sign. In fact, it demeans our sovereignty and it also demeans us as Pan-Africanists. What exactly did Muammar al-Gaddafi want? Run the story. And this one is coming all the way from Ghana Web. Oh gosh. What is the story saying? Hit it hard. Ablakwa is telling us exactly what it is. And I need you to open your ears and see this. He was incorruptible. Yes, incorruptible. Ablakwa on how Dr. Murtala turned down Gaddafi's juicy offer. Flip. Watch this. Minister of Foreign Affairs Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa has described the late Dr. Murtala Muhammad, Minister of Environment, Science and Technology, as one who was incorruptible. Sharing some memories of the late official in an interview on Channel 1 TV on August 11, 2025. He recounted one incident where he traveled with the late minister to meet the then leader of Libya, Muammar al-Gaddafi, as young politicians. Now, according to Ablakwa, it was in line with Africa's liberation and strategies to rally influential people at all levels, including chiefs, into buying into Gaddafi's ideologies. Did you hear that? So get all the chiefs to rally behind Gaddafi, make him the AU leader. Oh, do this. Buy into his ideologies, whether you like it or not, whether they conflict with the interest of your nation or not. Just do this for Gaddafi. Yes, it was a very expensive trip. We had high hopes and were excited about it. We kept chatting about the opportunity while on the flight as young and passionate politicians. Flip! My brother, my sister. Flip, 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 flip. Don't slow me down. Quick. Yes. So that was the conversation that was going on. Flip the page. Interestingly, when we arrived and went for the engagement, we were given a contract, a life-changing contract. He told me that looking at the scope, listen, he told me that looking at the scope and the demands, it would be too daunting to a task to achieve. So he didn't sign. This was a very juicy contract, but he wouldn't get involved in something he thought he could not deliver on. Dash. Muslims should be very proud of Alhaji Dr. Murtala Ibrahim Muhammad. At the same time, Ghana should be very proud of this gentleman. This is a testimony about how a young politician full of hopes and ambitions could have made it big, my brother, my sister, by just appending a signature to one of Africa's biggest and richest leaders, Muammar al-Gaddafi. But he went in and looked at it. Yes, we support Gaddafi, but there are some of his ideologies that will compromise our sovereignty and Pan-Africanism. I will not sign it. And because of that, he and Ablakwa left Libya empty-handed. They refused to sign. When you read the story, you will see that, my brother, my sister, some chiefs were compromised. Some politicians in Ghana and Africa were compromised. So they signed and brought Gaddafi in, crowned him the king of kings, right here in this country called Ghana, and took fat checks from that leader. Murtala refused to do that signage. In later editions, we'll bring you the names of some of the chiefs and maybe kings and politicians who signed and sold out to Muammar al-Gaddafi. Muammar Gaddafi was a very radical leader. For him, His ideologies were perfect. Everybody who supported Africa must support his ideologies. If you didn't, then you were a sellout for Africa. He was not ready to hear anyone say, oh, Your Excellency, this is not right. This part, no. No! He had the money to buy everybody. He wanted to see Africa rise from the dust all the way to the top immediately and momentously. He didn't have time for any critique. And Murtala wouldn't buy that. Of course, he was a Pan-Africanist, but he was not perfect. But he would not allow other opinions. And for that matter, Murtala taught him a great lesson and walked out of the contract. Gaddafi shook his head and wondered what kind of a blockhead that head was. But I believe after some time, he understood that not everybody could be bought with money. If it were you, would you sign? How many of us would have taken the side of Murtala? How many of us leave our country, fly to our other countries, my brother, my sister, and sell our countries out? We say so many bad things about our countries, as if those countries that we are telling bad things to about our country never had any negatives from the start. My brother, my sister, we are all growing. It's not at the same pace. We will continue to grow, and I believe that Ghana shall prosper. It's the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushonomo, where we speak truth to power. When we return, we got more. Hey! Why? Wayo!
Blakk Pot, Kukushonomo.
It's the Blakk Pot, a.k.a. Kukushonomo, and here we speak truth to power. Okay? Story number 3. Watch this. Prophecy is soothsaying. And this is Kwesi Pratt. In Hausa, we call it Boka. Prophecy are come. My brother, my sister, Kwesi Pratt has a big question he wants to ask Ghanaians. But listen, man. Just yesterday, it came out that the presidency is actually not against prophecies. But if you have a prophecy that is that important for the nation, there is a certain pocket that you need to approach and give that prophecy to, so that no prophet will come out and say, oh, I saw this, but because of this, I didn't talk to anybody, or I called so many people and they couldn't link me up to the seat of power. The president said, I know the importance of prophecies. I know the importance of spirituality. I know the importance of religion. For that matter, we don't want to exclude any prophet in this. In fact, this is one president who has encouraged a lot of religious heads and almost all religions in Ghana to come over to the presidency, sit and drink tea with the president. Many people have applauded him. President Dr. Kwame Nkrumah also had an open door approach to some of these religious bodies. At a point, he was even called Kankai Nyame. Why was he called Kankai Nyame? Because there's a certain town in Guinea called Kankai. And there was a man there who was so powerful, he was a prophet, that Kwame Nkrumah was introduced to. And once in a while when he was in Guinea, because of Sekou, he would go there and meet with the Kankai prophet. He would listen to him, listen to his wisdom and some prophecies. Nkrumah loved him. And Ghanaians at the time believed that Nkrumah's formidable spiritual protection was because of Kankai Nyame. But Nkrumah trained as a priest. He also trained as a journalist. He never trained as a politician. My brother, my sister, Ghanaians believed that Nkrumah was drinking human blood. They believed that he had a certain God that was given to him by Kankai Nyame, that prophet in Kankai in Guinea, Kankan. When Nkrumah was overthrown, many people did not believe it because they had tried so many times to take his life and it will never happen. At point blank, he was shot and the bullet only grazed his shirt and went away. Sani Fudagati had to take bullets on his behalf and he died. They tried so many, bombs exploded in the face of Nkrumah, he never died. They believed the power was coming from Kankai. My brother, my sister, when Nkrumah was overthrown, we saw placards all over Ghana. Nkrumah, in fact, cartooned as Sasabonsam, with Kankai Nyame standing on one side, drinking blood and all that. My brother, my sister, we have so much disrespect for spirituality, especially African spirituality. The president says no. Freedom of worship as contained in our constitution. Now I am going to go a step further. If you are a prophet and you have a prophecy that will see Ghana go forward, you may not meet the president one-on-one, but there is a certain office that you can go to and talk to whoever is there. Other men and women of God will sit on this, and if they think that it has to reach the president's ears, they will do that. If not, they will handle it at their level and try to alleviate any or appease whatever has to be appeased. I don't think that is so much of a problem. We have a lot of charlatan prophets, charlatan, self-styled, bleach-faced men of God like Obini. They are there all over the place. All they are interested in is foolishness. Why do you prophesy that a certain known personality, a politician, is about to die in a plane crash? Are you stupid? You can't find this person. You don't have a way of talking to the person so you could meet. You have to blurt it out that you're going to die. No wonder A+ recently said one prophet Roger had prophesied that he, A+, will die in a car crash. And he also said that he had seen in a vision that boys, area boys are about to beat up Prophet Roger. I pray that beating happens. Don't be stupid. If this was your mother, would you come in the church and say, my mother is going to die in a plane crash? Or my brother is going to go mad in the next 4 days? I am sure that the stupid you would look for your brother and do whatever you're supposed to do. Ghana is so small. We are able to meet people. I do understand that sometimes it is difficult to meet a certain politician. You can also have the prophecy, but my brother, my sister, watch what you say. This is what the prophet is trying to talk to the people about. You don't have to be so graphic to cause fear and panic. I believe in prophecies, but not from charlatan prophets. My brother, my sister, Kwesi Pratt says that these prophecies are soothsayings. He's asking, are we now taking soothsaying into governance? Watch this from Ghana Web, and it's big news. Have we now incorporated soothsaying into our governance apparatus? Kwesi Pratt Jr. is asking. Run it. Oh yes, run it. The managing editor of the Inside newspaper, Kwesi Pratt Jr., has expressed great worry over the creation of an office at the Jubilee House called the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations. This follows a widely circulated press statement from the above stated office directed at all Christian leaders in Ghana to redirect all prophecies they have, especially about high-profile people or events, to it as part of strengthening national coordination on spiritual matters. By reacting to this on social media, the veteran journalist expressed shock at this news, wondering if this is some new kind of soothsaying. Describing the head of that office, Elvis Afriye Ankara, as his good friend, Kwesi Pratt wrote. Let's see what he wrote. What did he write? Do you know? A few days ago, I got to know that my good friend Elvis Afriye Ankara has been given a brand new position, Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations. And the first question that popped into my brain was, what is this? The biggest surprise was yet to come. The Ghanaian media reported that the office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations has issued a significant directive urging religious leaders across Ghana to formally submit any prophecy or spiritual insight of national significance to its office for urgent review. Flip, flip, flip. What is happening? I'm completely lost. Have we now incorporated soothsaying into our governance apparatus? Will important governance decisions be based on what the oracles say? How is this different from a hamlet chief of headman depending on the witch doctor for direction as to how to deal with problems of health, education, economy, and many more? He quizzed. Now, the statement from the office of the Presidential Envoy for Interfaith and Ecumenical Relations stated, in part, that any prophecy or spiritual insight of a national nature, especially those with implications for high-profile political leaders, governance, national security, or public stability, should be formally relayed to the Chief Office of the Presidential Envoy for urgent review and appropriate escalation. He has made his mind known. Many people think that this is going to open the floodgates for stupid prophecies. But remember, it's like a board. The men and women of God are also there. A lot of these prophecies are going to end on their table. Pray about this, pray about it. Instead of having prophets come out and say, if you don't pray about this, oh, somebody will die. Now they are there. They will all gather and pray. Whatever is supposed to be done, if it is Christian, I believe they will handle it there. My brother, you can never separate the physical from the spiritual. We are all spirit beings and also physical beings. If you want to see everything just physical, you will die a death like Macbeth. You will die a death like Julius Caesar. Remember when the so-called soothsayer came up to Julius Caesar. He said, beware of the eyes of March. How many of us remember this? Caesar, beware of the eyes of March. And eyes of March is what? The day before. My brother, my sister. And Julius Caesar met with this same soothsayer on the eyes of March. And he looked at the soothsayer and said, the eyes of March have come. And the soothsayer responded by saying, but not gone. You prophesied that the eyes of March, I should beware. Something will happen to me. Today is the eyes of March. And the soothsayer said, but not gone. And truly, Caesar lost his life so badly. My brother, Caesar had a wife. She was called Calpurnia. That's my literature said me, right? It's been years. Calpurnia came up to Caesar and told Caesar, I had a dream where I saw people come up to you And so many knives went into you, knife wounds, and you were bleeding, and they were bathing in your blood, so happy. Call it my fear, O Caesar, that today you don't go out and meet these people. But it is my fear and not your fear. Caesar was about to agree to it, but at the end of the day, his own friends, the conspirators, came over to him and told him, why do you let the dream, a common dream of a woman, a mere woman, make you, a great soldier like you, so brave, run away from this? They knew what they had done. And Caesar started to speak. I, Caesar, shall go and I shall conquer. I am a man born out of bravery, blah, 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 blah. And he walked over and sat on his throne. Now it was a time for people to come to him with some kind of pleas. So they came over to him and they wanted somebody to be freed, somebody who had gone into exile. Caesar had sent him to exile. Now they came to Caesar as if to beg him. When they got so close to him, they started to pull out their daggers from out of their scabbards. Shock, shock. The same thing his wife saw in the dream. And to make it worse, his own good friend, Brutus, pulled out a knife. He thought Brutus would have saved him. Caesar, according to Julius Caesar, written by Shakespeare, would have been strong enough to fight all these people because he was a soldier who had power and energy. But when he saw his own friend pull out the knife, rather than protecting him, and he came with a knife, choke, he was so downhearted. He looked at Brutus, and you know what he said to Brutus? Et tu, Brute? Et tu, Brute? And that's in Latin. And you, Brutus, too? My own good friend Brutus. Et tu, Brute? And he went down. My brother, the spiritual is powerful. I agree that there are charlatans. That is where we have to put a sharp knife and decipher between the lines. I don't think the president has done anything wrong. The office is supposed to deal with some of these things. It's a prophecy that saved the president. Nkrumah himself, who is a big hero of Kwame Nkrumah, had Kankai Nyame. Just that it didn't come public. Supporting Kwame Nkrumah with prophecies. And there's evidence that he listened to Kankai Nyame and he put a lot of the things that he told him into action. Every man must be both spiritual and physical. We have to be careful. We don't overly indulge in the spiritual, nor do we overly indulge in the physical. We must strike a balance. Is the Blakk Pot, aka Kukushonamo. When we return, we'll take your messages and we will be getting ready to say bye-bye to you. Hey! Hey! Wayo!
Blakk Pot, Coco Show, man.
It's the Blakk Pot, aka Coco Show, and here we speak truth to power. All right, so let's look at your comments and pick your minds. All right, send your comments in, send them via Facebook, also send them via YouTube. We shall pick them up and deal with them straight away. Okay? Kwesi Pratt says more fire, boss. Lexis Tetley says more fire. Always speaking truth to power. The Black Pot, please, can you wish me a happy birthday today? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Lexis. Happy birthday to you. On this year, Kojo Mike says, love it. Sean Street Storm says, Woyoy Black. Proud to be your student. Mark Romeo Ofori says, respect Professor Blakk. Love and respect, Sean. And I can see Salami. Is it Al Salami or Al Sarati? Says Mbiale. And Sarikei Akaziri. Anabla says, good evening, Black Rasta. And good evening, Black Empire Media. Jata Nanabuating Danyame says, I have no idea where yellow or black hair Rasta from. But wherever he comes from, their tribe and ancestry, I'm sure that's what he wanted to say, it's a curse. Okay, we hear you. We hear you. All right. So Pat Awa says, hello, Black Rasta. Mario Mensa says, great show. Watching you live from Sweden. Sedu Isaka says, greetings from Tokyo. Sina Dawood says, greetings from Washington. And Lexis Tetley says, fire. Samuel Nutako says, hey. Mark Romeo Fori says, Okujeto Ablakwa, the future president. Asana Majid says, great man. Conscious Agbemenu Ahosu says, one love Black Rasta. Watching you always is a blessing. Abdulaziz Rahim Ukpejo says, good evening, Black Rasta. Woyoy. More comments coming in. JDSGH says, greetings, Black. We are live. Woyoy. Stephen Jackson says, woyoy. We are live on in the Tuesday class, and a very good evening to you, Mr. Black Rasta. JDSGH says, Black, simple and nice outfit, more fire. Kojo Wamfu says, good evening to the Black Pot family. Time waits for no man says, more fire, Rasta. Mr. and Mrs. Candy, blast pa. I am waiting for my Professor Black Rasta to dive deep into this. Richard Asante says, the mouthpiece of Pan-Africanism, Black Rasta, too much with truth and respect. Selassie. Stephen Banda says, the King of Africa is here. Long live my King. Thanks for your wisdom. Salute. Many more comments coming in. We'll be taking them later. Remember to keep the comments coming in on Facebook and also on YouTube. And we will be taking that soon. We have the final story. And it's a big bomb. Story number 4. Watch this. Why pilot Peter ANALA should not have flown Z9 helicopter. More information is coming in. This is the young soldier. We are told that he was the youngest amongst the 18 people who lost their lives. He was the one in charge of the plane. He had been commissioned as a soldier from 2013. He himself was born on Coronation Day, the 2nd of November in 1989. He went to school in Sunyani at the seminary. And he went to my school, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Then he decided to jump into the ranks of the army. And in 2013, he became an army officer. My brother, my sister, how old was this man when he went down? He was only 35 years young. Many people knew him. He was a very affable young man. Should he have flown the Z9 helicopter that day or not? We're going to do a little bit of analysis. And we would answer that question. I'm going to take you to 2014. There was a big crash that changed the face of aviation history. And this happened in Malaysia. The Malaysian 370 flight 370. That's it. It took off from Malaysia with 2 very experienced pilots, Abdul Hamid and also this gentleman here called Zahari. They were the 2 pilots Zahari, and Abdul Hamid. Malaysia is more than 90% Muslim. They flew the plane and it went into the air, deep up, 239 people plus crew. 2014. The plane was headed for Beijing in China. All of a sudden, it started veering off the radar, moving in a different direction. My brother, my sister. And then it got lost from the radar. It means they couldn't see the plane anymore. It was said that it had crashed, and all 239 people were said to have died. We remember the prophets talking about it, including Prophet T.B. Joshua. He talked about the crash before it happened, and he also talked about where to find the debris. It took 3 years to continue looking for the debris, and it was the most expensive investigation, aviation-wise, in the history of man and woman. They spent so much money, so much time investigating just to find the debris. 2 solid years, found nothing. In the 3rd year, they started getting bits and pieces, and then they gave up on this. A lot of the passengers were Chinese. There was some level of compensation paid them. My brother, my sister, they couldn't find the crashed plane, let alone the black box. But from Facebook posts and some close-knitted, closed-door information, it came out that one of the pilots, by name Zahari, the day before he went to fly the plane, he had a bad argument with his wife. They argued. He and his wife argued. And the wife threatened divorce. The other pilot, Abdul Hamid, had also dreamt a week before that he was flying the plane, the Malaysian flight, and before he realized, a snake bit him. So, when they went to fly the plane, there were 2 people with 2 different antennas. One was thinking about the looming divorce and the harsh words his wife uttered to him before he came to fly the plane. His assistant, Abdul Hamid, was also thinking and maybe reminiscing what happened in his dream. Would it happen in real life? There were also rumors that the plane might probably have been hijacked because it took a different direction altogether. The plane crashed. 239 people went down the drain. Psychological issues. Now, just last year, on the 8th of March, a plane from India heading towards London in England, my brother, my sister, crashed and killed everybody except one. Do you know the pilot who was flying that plane? He was Samir Shabarwal. That's him. My brother, my sister, look at his face. What do you see? He had lost his mother 5 years before. He flew the plane. And his friends always said that he went into bits of fits or bouts of fits. You know what it means to say fits? Like popo bli bli. Hey, me mommy. Hey, me mommy, my mother. Ay, my mother. The thing had hit him so bad that even after 5 years, he was still having these bouts of fits, he flew that plane. The plane took off. A few minutes later, it crashed and killed everybody except one. Could it have been the psychological effect it had on his head? Did he have another bout of whatever before that thing happened? But the good news is that they found the black box. And it came out that it was actually technical problems on the part of the pilot. Mistakes. Could it have been psychological? And this was just last year. Now let's come to Peter ANALA. Some of the world's deadliest aviation accidents. My brother here was born on the 2nd of November in 1989, 35 years. In fact, in April, he lost his big sister in America, Virginia. His big sister. He cried and cried. There are pictures of him and the sister. My brother, my sister, they were close. He visited them. His brother was a priest, Catholic priest. He himself was raised as a Catholic. He went to the seminary in Sunyani. His brother was the one who officiated the funeral of their big sister. This was April, thereabout, or June. And then in September, the big brother, the priest himself, died in Mississippi, in America. 2 people died in a space of just a few months. Yes, the sister died in June. She had been sick from April. And then she went away when everybody thought that she had become well and everything was okay. Bam! She went down. You know how it is. Sometimes you fall sick for some time and then all of a sudden you get well. Everyone is coming to greet you and say congratulations. A few days later you are gone. It's a shock. The brother wasn't sick. He also went down like that in September. We are told. There about April and June. I'm mixing up the dates. Yes, sister died in April and the brother died in June. Forgive me. Too many things up here. Sister died in April. Big brother died in June. Brother and sister buried. So he was the one they prayed for, hoping that he will be able to stand with the family. Because of the deaths, he took a leave. And I am told that when he returned, the day he returned, the following day, he was asked to fly the helicopter. Did he recover well? How many days did he take time off to go and heal? Do we have it on the records of the armed forces that he saw a psychologist? I'm just asking. Or did we just say, oh, go home and rest and eat fufu and abenkwine? When you come back after 1 month, you would have forgotten. Somebody's mother died 5 years ago, and that probably made him crash a plane. Somebody and his wife argued in the morning, and by the time he was flying a plane, his head was haja. Did he heal enough? My brother, when a man dies, he's not even been buried yet. We are not doing a post-mortem. What we are doing is, what can we do to prevent some of these things? In our country, we truly don't take mental health seriously. Did we have a psychologist sign that, oh, he was okay? In this country, medical people can tell you, oh, you have HIV/AIDS. No counseling. You have malaria. No doctor tells you the type of malaria you have. Let alone go home and eat abenkwine and fufu and akrantie, come back after 1 month, you'll be okay. Somebody who lost 2 siblings, 1 father, 1 mother. He came all the way from CNC in the Sandema area. This gentleman, a Bulsa man. And that area is so deprived, like every other part of the north. So he was being seen as somebody who would live up and at least come and take care of the family. 2 siblings were already gone, a sister and a brother. Within 5 months of the sister dying, 2 more people went. That's him and his very handsome priest brother. Today, they are all gathered in death. My brother, is it not time for us to take mental health serious? In Ghana, when you say mental health, somebody will add an open say, my bother man. That be. And your bottom. You can hear some kind of news and it blows you away. You need a psychologist, maybe a psychiatrist. I have had deaths in my family. And there was a point I almost felt like jumping into the sea and going away. Because it hurts. When people lose family, it takes them time to recover. Were there checks and balances to be sure that this brother here called squadron leader Peter ANALA was okay? Who okayed him to fly again after what he went through? Sister died in April, brother died in June, and he himself is gone on the 6th of August. Well, again, we are waiting for the black box to reveal to us what truly happened. But should it be the opposite, to God be the glory, let us take some of these things seriously in all the things that we do, my brother. Mental health is very important. It's the blackboard, aka Kukushonamo, where we speak truth to power. Dash. Okay? Time now to pick up your minds, and we are done for the day. I want to believe that we have had a really good time to reminisce and think about our nation. Remember, here we don't do politics. What we do is called patriotism. I am your prophet of patriotism, and you are all prophets of patriotism. We apologize one more time for the late start of the show. Our numbers are scrolling on the screen. Pick up the numbers and do business with us. Today we've been talking about so many different things. Somebody said, Madame Doyo says it wasn't a crash, it was a blast. The helicopter blasted. We have come to see that Murtala even rejected a supposed bribe from the great leader called Muammar Gaddafi. A Blakk has told us that. Kwesi Pratt thinks that all these prophecies are just soothsaying. They are not necessary. He's asking, will the government be run now by soothsayers? Will policies be told to the prophet by soothsayers? And if it's a nation that is run by pastors and men of God and women of God, then it's a theocracy, no more a democracy. And finally, should Peter ANALA have flown the ill-fated Z9 military-styled helicopter or not? Let's check up your comments, and we are done for the day, okay? Rob Wood says, wouldn't it be wise to set up an office where citizens can share good ideas with the government instead of this? We certainly have lost the plot. Kwesi Pratt is right. I agree with you. We should have that office too. Just go and share ideas. And again, that office could be manned by just 2 people. The pastors and prophets don't need to come there. Phone call. Just get some wise people who are patriotic and can answer every phone call. Take the details of every prophecy that you get, whatever it is. People don't have to drive there. I hear Fire will just say, okay, they should actually give them fuel for them to be able to come to the presidency. Ah, well. Kelly Blakk says, Black Rasta tried to put those pieces together to write a book. Wow, you are a true historian. Salute. And Kelly Blakk is saying that, Blakk Rasta, I believe you can be a good lecturer in a university. In fact, I used to lecture in America. You know that, right? University of Central Missouri and also the University of South Carolina. Is it North Carolina? Asheville. I think it's North Carolina. Say yes. Thank you so much. I take that as a compliment. Alao Malik says, God bless you, Blakk Rasta. Your message is well disseminated and the nation applauds your good work. Blakk Rasta for life. Salute. More comments. Patrick Nate says, Professor Blakk, a more of fire. Insightful analysis by all standards. As for those charlatans, by their fruit they shall be known. Truth to power. Noah Tete says, Ras, respect. Your new name is Preacher. Hallelujah. 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 Are we done? We have more comments coming up. Jochi Paul says, greetings, Blakk. God Almighty in heaven bless you for your hard work. King Ras Abogo says, Blakk, my name is Abongo, watching you live from the Upper East Bolga at Hotel Amodasi. Big up, keep the fire burning. Where is Hotel Amodasi? Which part of Bolga? Is this Warungo? Where is it? Tindomolgo? I would like to come and pay you a visit one of these days. Yeah? And listen to the new song Blakk Rasta made called Kafankere. Kafankere on the Salaga Soldier album. Play it in your hotel. You'll love it. Muhammad Adiga says, good evening, my brother. Which station are your programs? 3FM. 3FM 92.7. Every day, Monday to Friday, 12:30 till 3 o'clock. You will catch me. Hot, rough, tough. So Vincent said, great Blakk Rasta, more fire. Fongo Pepe says, Blakk Rasta, my role model. Kamal Dini Moro says, I'm late today. Wayo, speaking truth to power. All right. All right. Are we done? Okay. MCR says, we are done for the day. I want to say thank you so much. We appreciate you and we love you. Tomorrow, please catch us again at 12. I beg your pardon. That's my radio time. At 6 p.m. sharp, and we close at 7. I apologize again for the late start. We had very serious problems with Facebook today. We were not allowed to go live, and we had to, technical issues they had. But we're able to resolve that, and we had to come live. Yeah? So please do forgive us. Pick up our numbers and do business with us. We certainly will love to do business with you. It's been the Blakk Pod, a.k.a. Koko Show No More, where we speak truth to power. Hey-ya! Hey-yo! Wayo! Power! Power!